We are watching truly awful images of abuses and extreme use of force by ICE coming out of Minnesota nearly every day. We just showed some with Jacob. And it's in large part because more than 3,000 federal immigration agents have been deployed there. And we're able to see what those agents are doing because it is being documented by this incredibly active and courageous core of citizens and also lots of local and national media. We're not only seeing this in Minnesota. Those abuses are happening all over the country. MS Now correspondent Antonia Hilton has new exclusive digital reporting about how a high school sophomore in Houston, a U.S. citizen named Arnoldo Bazan, became a victim of those abuses when masked, unidentified immigration agents in an unmarked vehicle rammed his undocumented father's van on the way to school. MS Now obtained video of the car chase from Bazan, who recorded the chase on his phone.
Within seconds, a fear the 16-year-old U.S. citizen had long suppressed comes to the surface. His undocumented father might be taken by federal agents.
Vámonos, vámonos, vámonos. Vámonos, flacas. Espérate, espérate, más calma, 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 calma. Espérate, más vale, calma, calma. No creo que lo vieron. Vámonos, vámonos. Vámonos, nos están siguiendo, pues. Nos están siguiendo, pues. Nos están siguiendo. Nos están siguiendo. No quiero que se lo lleven, pues.
We didn't know what was happening. They were still chasing us, and that's when they started hitting our car, trying to flip us.
As Arnoldo continues to film, agents appear to ram into the Bazan's car at least 4 times.
Le va a pegar otra vez, le va a pegar otra vez, le va a pegar otra vez. Le va a pegar al lado.
Department of Homeland Security denies the Bazan family's allegations. And Tony Hilton is an MS Now correspondent and co-host of Weekend Prime. She joins me now. Oh, God, that footage is insane. Tell me about the context of this boy, his father, and how this played out.
Before I give you the full context, I want to tell you, too, that DHS doesn't just deny their allegations. They actually say that Arnolfo, the father, struck their agents with his vehicle.
Okay.
That's DHS's official story. When we told them that we had video showing that not only was it actually the reverse, that their agents struck him 4 times, that was sort of the point in which our conversations with DHS broke down, and we could no longer get answers from them about what really was this sort of multi-stage, Chris, it's like the strangest story, and yet it's also becoming so emblematic of what we're starting to see across the country. This father and son, their morning started out on the way to school getting breakfast when they're pulled over by what they think are maybe local police in unmarked cars. But what they then say they see is masked men jump out of cars with guns already drawn. No commands, no, you're under arrest, no, here's our warrant. They don't even say their names, so they're under the impression these guys actually don't know who they are. But they say the agents start trying to smash their windows. So the father thinks he's actually being carjacked, maybe kidnapped.
Yeah.
So he backs up his car and he flees. A few seconds into fleeing, they start to realize there's more unmarked cars around them. This must be federal immigration agents. And you hear the 16-year-old boy come to that realization there in the car. But shortly after what we just showed you there, they end up being able to tackle the father and son inside a nearby restaurant depot. And it's an incredibly violent scene. The father is being beaten on the ground. The son ends up in an incredibly violent chokehold to the point, Chris, where he ends up having to go to the hospital. And we have an additional part of that clip, I think, that you might want to see, just showing you some of what he experienced there and described of the agent's actions.
Let's take a listen.
When was the first time that you tried to tell them, I'm a citizen?
When I was on the ground, and I was in a headlock, and then he told me, you're done, you're done. I was like, I'm underage, I'm a U.S. citizen.
I'm underage. We're from the United States.
And he choked me more, so I guess I couldn't speak.
What kinds of things did you hear them say to you and your father?
A bunch of racist stuff. Like, they were calling us criminals, that we didn't deserve to live in the U.S. Beaner, border hopper, illegal, like son of an alien and all that stuff, a dumbass, all that stuff.
What happens to him and his father after that?
So he and his father are held in a car. They're detained, handcuffed in a car for several hours. And eventually they confirm the boy is a U.S. citizen. They drop him home. When he reaches home, his clothes are completely torn apart. He has scarring and bruises all over his upper body. And his sisters are in shock. You can see there, they bring him to a hospital, the Texas Children's Hospital. He's immediately rushed into a trauma unit. A nurse there calls the police and actually initiates a report to say that this minor, this 10th grader, has been choked, has been beaten. But shortly after he leaves the hospital and has experienced that physical trauma, he realizes something, that after this encounter, he actually never received back his cell phone or his AirPod headphones. So he and his family, they start scrambling, looking for them. And at the same time, his father is being transported to an immigration detention facility in a place called Conroe, Texas, about an hour away. Eventually, they find the phone's location, and it is in a pawn shop kiosk right near that detention center.
I want to play this clip from the story because it's just a remarkable detail. Take a listen.
That weekend, the Bazans tracked the phone on Apple's location service and found it traveled from Houston to a place 2.5 miles down the street from where agents left their father Arnolfo in the Montgomery Processing Center. Somehow, the iPhone went from the possession of federal immigration authorities to this Tech for Cash pawn shop kiosk. Conroe police retrieved the phone for Arnoldo and took down this report obtained by MS Now, noting that whoever sold Arnoldo's phone for cash committed a second-degree felony. The theft remains under investigation.
Obviously, we don't know how it got into that pawn shop kiosk there. But, I mean, this is a U.S. citizen who is has his car hit 4 times that he's driving with his father, who's wrestled to the ground, put in a chokehold, is injured severely enough that he has to go to a hospital where a nurse records everything, has his cell phone taken from him, ends up being sold. His father, how long has his dad been in the country?
His dad came to the U.S. in the 90s, fleeing violence and instability in Mexico. He came undocumented. All 4 of his children, 3 daughters, and his only son, Arnoldo, there, are U.S. citizens. And the only crime that he has committed is a 2015 misdemeanor, a driving while intoxicated, decade-old misdemeanor. And, you know, the family has never denied this, but when I've spoken to experts, what they say is that is not the sort of crime that you send multi-agency federal immigration authorities after, and certainly not the kind of crime that warrants this sort of treatment. What we've been told by former DHS leaders, highly trained Border Patrol and ICE agents, is that the tactics that you see here are the kinds of tactics people are trained to only use within about 100 miles of a border when you encounter, say, a drug smuggler or a cartel, and you may be at a point of engaging in a shootout. I mean, those are the stakes that these tactics are used for. But not only are you seeing them deployed there against a 16-year-old, there's a pattern here. I mean, you even heard about it from Jacob. We're seeing it spread all across the interior. And that means that Americans, including U.S. citizens, they are going to see more and more of these tactics used as this entire immigration apparatus continues to expand. And Trump actually has been promoting some of the most aggressively trained agents, Border Patrol agents in particular, through all of the offices in DHS, in part because what experts tell us is he wants to reward that very aggression.
Antonia Hilton, this is really incredible work. Thank you for sharing with
Chris.
us. You can find her exclusive new reporting about federal immigration enforcement practices on the MS Now YouTube channel. We'll be right back.